So today I'm going to be talking about Simon and Richter in Smash Ultimate, two characters that I've heard a lot of people kind of complain about. You know, you just throw out projectiles at these characters and win. And while that can kind of work online, I feel like when you're playing against other players and when you're playing at a higher level, a lot of the times people can play around those. And I want to tell you guys how you can actually play this character, you know, a little bit better. Now, keep in mind this is going to be a beginner to intermediate level guide. I'm going to be talking about how I personally use every single move and talking about the character in general. Now, before we begin, you're probably wondering, should I play Simon or should I play Richter? Well, it doesn't really matter too much, except for in one case, and this is the case where in some cases you might want to pick Simon because his down B is actually a fire projectile, so it'll blow up Link's bomb and Youngling's bomb, while Richter's will not. Well, on the other half, if you're playing in doubles with a Link on your team, then you probably want to play Richter because it will not be blowing up your teammate's bomb. And that's the only difference, and that's the only time when you should be playing one over the other. Otherwise, it really doesn't matter, just kind of play whoever you want. With that said, let's get started talking about this character. In general, I'm going to say that Simon and Richter are both pretty defensive spacing-based characters that also want to try to create a zone and a threat bubble around them as much as they possibly can. They want to keep their opponents at a medium distance away. They don't necessarily want to keep their opponents like all the way across the stage like some zoners, because they don't quite have the range to continuously put on a lot of pressure from there. But with their aerials, with their tilts, with their specials, they can oftentimes apply a lot of pressure at a medium distance. As well, as much as possible, you want to be pushing forward as this character when you have the possibility to. Essentially, when you hit your opponent, you want to push forward and try to get them near the ledge and then try to ledge trap them, which this character is amazing at. While on the other hand, a lot of the times you are going to have to be playing pretty defensively and using retreating aerials. So essentially, you'll be using retreating aerials, but if you hit one, then you want to push forward and try to get the pressure going a little bit from there and apply a little bit of pressure with your projectiles. Now, that saying, I'm going to say right here, of course, don't be super offensive. Don't go running in without a hit, because you are probably just going to be losing, because a lot of his aerials do take a long time to come out. A lot of his moves take a long time to come out. His fastest aerial is like Nair, and that's frame 8, which isn't the best. And a lot of his other aerials are like frame 14 to start. Now, with that in mind, they don't take a long time to end, so you can land with a lot of them, and they are quite safe if landed correctly. But yeah, you can't really be on the offense unless you get a hit, then you can push forward and then you can apply the pressure. A lot of times you will have to be going a little bit defensively, but make sure that you aren't playing too defensively and running away all the time, because if you do and you aren't getting any hits ever, your opponent's going to hit you off stage and you're probably going to get edge guarded, and that's really where this character struggles, because while they are quite heavy and while they can pack a huge punch, and while they can work great with Wage and all of that and can space amazingly, if your opponent gets you off stage, then you're going to be in really bad trouble. Now, some final things about this character is that they are quite slow. As you see, it takes even a while to get up and down. Getting down is actually not bad because he has a thing about him where he gets down to the ground a little faster than most characters with his fast fall, but he can't really control his aerial speed too much, his ground speed too much, and the majority of the time what you're going to be getting from control with this character is control out of your tilts, out of your aerials, and control out of a lot of your special moves and just the range of this character. He's not a character that's necessarily going to be applying a lot of pressure from just running in and doing stuff like, let's say, you know, Sonic could possibly do. He's a character that's going to be applying pressure from range, trying to hope that you can mess your opponent up and then going in from there, and that's in general, I think, how you kind of going to be playing this character. Let's talk about his first special, that being his neutral B. Now, the cool thing about this is that you can actually angle how far you want it to go. So you just press neutral B and you can hold back and it'll go barely anywhere. Hold forward and go super far. As you see, it does 18%, a lot of damage. It also does a lot of knockback if we just keep hitting him off. And one of the main things that I like to do with this move is get my opponent off stage. Let's get him off again. And a lot of times you can just block off options. So let's say he's right here. Maybe I didn't block off that option, but I essentially made so that he couldn't play in a certain way. By throwing this move out, I make so that he can't recover high, which is really, really nice, because that means he's going to be recovering low, and if he's recovering low, that means that I'm probably going to be able to hit him with a down B and hit him with an F smash right after that, and that's amazingly. Another move that, you know, you can use a lot of the time that isn't going to be nearly as specific is going to be a side B. Now, the great thing about a side B is that, first off, it goes super far, and you can actually either throw this just barely, or you can throw it with a smash stick. And essentially how you do that is you just press side B really hard at the same time, like doing a smash attack, or you just hold the side B and just barely do it. As you see, I'm just walking, and I can go for a side B. Now, there are different uses for this. I think the close-up one can be useful in a lot of situations, because if you get the second hit, the one that's coming back, let's say my opponent dodges over it, and they get hit by the second one. Not sure if I can do it right here. But if they get hit by the second hit, you can start off some combos off that. It's, you know, kind of awkward to use. But here we go. Start off a combo and then continue from there. Get a lot of damage. In a lot of cases, you will be wanting to go for the smash stick, though, because it'll just cover a lot of space, like the majority of battlefield. So you can have this out on the field, and then if your opponent tries to approach, we can try to stuff them. If your opponent just keeps running away, well, they're getting a lot of pressure, so they either have to jump over it or they have to shield it. And if they're in a case where they're trying to jump over it, well, you can hit them with a forward air, you can hit them with an axe. While at the same time, if they just try to shield it, well, let's say you have this here on the ground. Let's say you have this here, they shield it, well, you can run up and then grab them. So that's kind of what you can do as well. If you, let's say, throw an axe, you can oftentimes like jump over it, hit that, and then run up and grab them. And if they shield, well, you can grab them. And if they don't, and if they get hit, you can grab them, or you can hit them with an aerial. Overall, there's a lot of stuff you can do with the axe, and it covers a lot of space. And while you shouldn't be using it close up at all because you will be punished for it, you can use it at a medium distance and essentially just get free space. Now, another thing I want to say about this is that if you throw it behind you, you can actually, in some cases, kind of engage with your axe, or it'll just give you a little bit of pressure to engage with. Now, this will make so that, you have to wait a while, and you have to jump over it, so it kind of limits your options and is, somewhat easy to kind of call out. But it's a thing that you can do. Down B takes even longer, and as well, if your opponent shields it, it'll actually just bounce off their shield and they can grab it. And if they happen to shield it, sometimes it'll land on a platform, and then you can actually be hit by that, so that can kind of suck. So, it's not the best to throw it all the time. I mean, if your opponent's kind of far away and you just want to stuff an approach like from a Sonic side B or something, you can use this to stop it. That's pretty nice. But the good thing about this move is that if you get your opponent near the ledge, and this is why he's so good at ledge trapping, and you throw this down, essentially what it'll do is that you hit near the edge, come on, and it'll block a lot of their options. So let's say I have the fire going. If I try to just get up, it'll probably hit me in that one frame where I'm not invincible, and that really hurts. If I try to jump, it'll also hit me, and that hurts. If I try to jump forward and go for an attack, well, guess what? The fire is also going to hit me. And essentially, even if I use a get-up attack, I'll also get hit by the fire. So the only real option against the fire is to either, wait down here and hope that it won't two-frame you, which it oftentimes will, or to just jump backwards. So I have here the fire. Oh, come on. I could either fall or just jump backwards and then try to get back up again. Now, the thing is, this kind of becomes a mind game where the Richter player will oftentimes just, use this and then go straight for a forward smash or try to forward smash to cover most options. But if he knows that you keep on and on and on jumping away from his down B forward smash, he can instead, I guess, walk forward a little bit. Or as well, he can go for down B, get this thing rolling. Come on. Get this thing rolling and then throw an axe so that if they happen to get hit by the fire, they might be hit into the axe, or they're just going to get hit by the fire. But mainly, they're going to be just, dodging the fire, but in return, they'll get hit by the axe. So it'll cover that jump away. So that's, I think, where mainly the axe is going to be really useful. But in both the situations, that's pretty cool. And fire, I think, is in general most useful at the ledge, and okay in neutral if you really need to, because it does apply a bit of pressure. Now, finally, as far as specials go, he has his up B. This thing's alright because you can do stuff like drag down up B. That'll actually true combo. A lot of times on platforms you can do that. It'll kill it around like 120-ish%. It's alright. The main thing about this move is, of course, it is a recovery. It is a pretty bad recovery, and the thing you want to remember is that you want to save your jump as much as possible so that you can jump up B, because just using up B doesn't go very far at all. It really kind of sucks. So that's kind of as far as that recovery goes. A lot better of a recovery option is usually just forward air or back air or up air, actually. Oh, I died right there. But that's kind of a problem about this character, where his recovery isn't that great. But, it's kind of how it is. His recovery is bad because that's kind of how they balance out the character, because if he had a great recovery, he'd be a really, really strong character. If he does a side smash and I'm holding up B, I'll actually immediately up B right after he hits my shield. So again, or even in this case, I have tap jump on with this control. But if I'm holding up B, then it'll just immediately up B, as you saw in the first stage, the first situation. So that's pretty cool. It essentially means that if your opponent keeps attacking you and you're shielding, you hold up B, you hit him with the up B. Well, if they aren't actually hitting you, then you'll just keep shielding, and that's a really nice tool you can do off of that. As well, you can do stuff like this, nair, up B sometimes. Down B is overall a really good combo starter that I didn't mention, but yeah, it is a really great combo starter. It can lead to a ton of stuff like forward air, back air, essentially whatever you want. So that's a cool thing about this down B, but you probably don't want to try to combo start with it too much because it doesn't always happen. But yeah, leading into up B can be an alright option here. And overall, just a decent recovery, but you have to be really careful with it. And as well, as you mentioned right here, if my opponent is like in between me and the ledge, a lot of times my forward air will actually just straight up hit my opponent and not grab the ledge, so that can kind of suck. So in this situation, I might just want to go really low, try to hit it with the up part of my up air instead of my forward air. Or as well, I can recover low and then jump up B. So that's kind of my options. I did it the wrong way right there, but yeah, that's kind of how that works. Moving on to the grounded part about this character, he has a pretty good grounded arsenal in general, but one of the moves is going to be used a lot more than the other moves. But let's just start off with his first one, that being jab. Overall, his jab just kind of a good, normal jab. If your opponent's engaging on you a lot, if they're rolling, you can catch a roll pretty easily. And I overall actually like this type of jab in this game, the multi-hit, because it just does a lot of damage, a lot of shield pressure, and is relatively safe. So it's just kind of a jab, doesn't do anything way too special. One thing that's nice about it is that you can actually hold it and does this, and it'll break through projectiles, but that's not the best thing in the world, because because actually as well, his forward tilt will break through projectiles. Speaking of his forward tilt, this thing is amazing because you can essentially just space it really, really well in addition to your side B, and it'll just apply a ton of pressure on your opponent. If you are fully spaced, as you can see, if you hit the tipper, it'll do even more percent, like 14%, which is great. And even if you miss, it'll be okay. And as well, the thing that's so great about this move is that it gives you a lot of space, and it's very safe, and it comes out relatively quickly. Overall, I'm going to say this is probably one of my favorite tilts in the entire game, and while it's not like a combo starter or anything, it does like everything else. It spaces, it does damage, and it actually kills, and you can combo into it with even a thing like a down B. But if you hit the tipper, it'll kill around 120-ish, I think. Yeah, there we go. So there you go with that. Kill move, spacing move, and a lot of times you do want to mix this up with your aerials and with your side B in order to get yourself a lot of space, and you want to hit this and then push up, as I was saying earlier. Now, other than that, of course, we also have his up tilt. This move is in general just kind of an anti-air, doesn't do much else, doesn't hit people close to you at all, and in a lot of cases I'd actually rather anti-air with like a forward aerial because I can have myself a little bit of momentum. Up tilt also doesn't really combo that much, and in general, while it has a lot of range above you, it is also really slow and really committal. So overall, I don't use up tilt myself way too much. I feel like there's a lot better options. Even as an anti-air, up B is a better option because it will also kill. It's there, but something that I personally don't like to choose way too much. One of those, options that you can use, but you probably won't use way too often. Now, other than this, we also have his down tilt. And the thing I want to talk about with this character is that he has a lot of really good far range moves, a lot of good far range tilts, a lot of good far range things in general. But he also has a few good close get off me moves. His down tilt, as we see right here, goes pretty far. His jab is relatively quick, or at least quick enough where it can be used as a get off me move. And as well, his dash attack also can be used as a get off me move. Anyways, to his down tilt, as you see right here, it can be used somewhat as a kill move. Does all right, but mainly a lot of times you want to be using this to try to just duck under stuff, low profile stuff, and either get in and get a lot of stage control and try to go for a ledge trap, or on the other hand, try to use it to just get out. So if you see your opponent going for you and you think you can happen to just like run, turn around, down tilt, you can do that to get away. In a lot of situations as well, like on Battlefield, for example, if you're on one platform, you can actually down tilt to the other platform and it'll be safe. And this is overall just kind of like a get away from me move that as well can be used somewhat as a get onto your opponent move if they don't see it coming. Don't use this move way too often because it is kind of one of those quick burst moves that if your opponent knows is going to come out a lot, can be countered, can be shielded, can be grabbed. But if they aren't ready for it, it can be pretty nice. And as well, it does go through shields, so that's pretty cool. Now though, and these things are honestly really good, and the best part about these is that while they do take a while to come out, they actually end really quickly if you land on the ground. So as you see, I can land on the ground and like immediately hit with them, so you do want to get used to short hop using them and then fast falling. The thing I'm going to mention is that a lot of times you don't want to do the thing where you press X and A at the same time or jump and A at the same time because you will be kind of high, and while you can angle it downwards, it is kind of awkward. Wouldn't use this all the time. It does miss people that are really short, and as well as F tilt does sometimes miss short characters. I did forget to mention that, but that is a thing that happens. So a lot of times you do kind of want to jump and then use it full hop or short hop into this. Forward air in general though is just a really good spacing tool, like a lot of his other tools. You can use it in tandem with his forward or side B. This can block a lot of the options in the air, and then you can use one of these angled downwards to hit people. And in general, this is just like one of his main spacing tools that gives a lot of area in front of you. And it's not really way too special, I guess, in any way. It just gets a lot of space in front of you for free, essentially. And you do want to try to hit the tipper if possible because that will hit your opponent a lot further away and set up into a lot better situations. Now to his back air, it's essentially, you see, like the exact same as his forward air. Even I think has the same frame data, but the thing that's so good about this is that his back air is actually a kill move. So if I can hit it, well, even hitting not on the tipper kills pretty well, but if I can hopefully hit on the tipper, there we go. It sends them super far. And actually, you can edge guard as well, like that, decently well with the back air. So that's pretty nice. Forward air and back air do kind of do like the exact same thing. But forward air, again, is pretty much just a little bit better for spacing, while back air is pretty much just a little bit better for killing. But they are, in general, kind of the same move, kind of just your bread and butter spacing move. You can angle them up or down depending on which way you're holding. And you can use the C stick to angle them quite a bit easier. And I'm going to be honest, GameCube controllers are probably the easiest thing to angle these with, but all of them work, decently well. Moving on, we have his down air. This thing is kind of cool because you can spike your opponent, send them up, and at certain percents, if they're holding in, you can go, I don't think it'll even work on this character like ever, but if your opponent's holding in for some reason, or even right here, there you go, down air B. Continuing on, we have his up air. This thing is alright. I'm going to say this is probably one of the arrows that I don't really like that much because the up air just hits directly above you. It doesn't really kill for quite a while, as you see. The nice thing about it is that it will hit under platforms, and it will stop people trying to engage from you. So it's probably one of his best anti-aerials, but it does hit like just right above him. And you probably won't be using this too much unless they are just right above you. And otherwise, you could as well wait for them to land, use an up B, wait for them, and use an up tilt as well if you want to. It's all right. It does its job. but it's not a thing that you're going to be using all of the time. On to the final things about this character, we're going to talk about his smash attacks, and his smash attacks overall are pretty good. I feel like there's one that is just much better than the other ones, and that's going to be his forward smash. If you look at this thing, it just is so strong. It works really well with rage as well. As you see, it has a ton of range. The entirety of it is really good. You don't even have to specifically hit the tipper for it to kill. I mean, the tipper will, of course, kill quite a bit earlier, but you don't really necessarily even have to hit that. And, I mean, while it does have a lot of end lag, if you have a good read, you can hit right into this. Now, I'm going to say overall with the smashes, though, they do take long enough where you probably shouldn't use them unless you have a good read, or unless, for example, you happen to hit your opponent with the holy water, because if you hit them with the holy water, it's a free F smash. So right there, holy water, side smash. And that works as well. Holy water, you can run up smash. That's all right. I've seen some people do that in tournament. Now, it's a little awkward, not the best, but you can do that. And general side smash is probably going to be one of your best killing moves. And again, as always, if you do ledge trap your opponent, they're trying to get up, you can do this. Side smash, it will kill them in a lot of situations, or if it doesn't, you can essentially just get them back into the ledge trap situation again. And it's great as far as that goes. I really, really like the side smash. But again, it is pretty much good in mainly only those two situations. We also have his down smash. This thing's alright because if you use it like right here, as you see, it'll cover almost all your opponent's options. If they get up attack, it can sometimes outrange them depending on your opponent's get up attack. It can block a roll, it can block, jumping in, normal get up. It can do a lot. But I think the problem about this is that in a lot of cases, it's just like, why wouldn't you just go for the holy water holy water side smash? It's just kind of quite a bit better. And as well, down smash doesn't kill for a long time. So it sends them at a pretty bad angle, so that's pretty good, or a pretty good angle for you, I guess. But, it won't kill for a long time. Even like a half charge down smash won't kill. So in general, good if you want to try to punish an opponent's roll, and that's kind of it. And even in a lot of cases, it might be better to go for forward tilt, because that can sometimes feel like it kills even a little bit earlier than down smash. So, there's that. Finally, we have up smash, and up smash is in a lot of cases like up air. I feel like overall, a lot of his up attacks aren't that great. But up air hits right above you, kills relatively early if you hit at the very top, and really good against platforms. Up smash, the exact same thing. Doesn't have that much range, but if you can get a good read, if you can hit at the tipper, it'll kill super early. And it's essentially just a side smash, but upwards. But of course, side smash is a lot better in most cases, because most of the time your opponent is going to be, in front of you than directly vertically above you, because that's just kind of how Smash Bros. Works. Here we have his throws. Starting off with his up throw, not that great. They can actually get out of it essentially immediately and jump away, so you want to use that if you want to try to juggle your opponent above you. The problem about Richter is that you really don't want your opponent above you too much. He's a character that more wants the opponent in front of him or behind him, like diagonally or straight, so, it's alright. Don't really use that too much. Down throw, you can get directly into forward air, so that's the main combo throw. You're probably going to be using that, like, all of the time. You can also, like, yeah, that's pretty much it. Down throw into forward air is what you want to be doing almost all of the time as this character if you are getting a throw. Now, if you're a higher percent, you can also go for forward throw and then go for a ledge trap at that point. Forward throw, and then you walk backwards, you throw down this, you start the ledge, and you just kind of wait and try to do essentially what you're always doing with your holy water. And as well, back throw is kind of a similar situation. If I can get him behind me. Where it throws him decently far, but neither his forward throw nor his back throw really are kill throws. They kind of just get your opponent off stage, and then you can move from there. Now, I should mention right here, his grab is really slow, has quite a bit of lag. Starts at frame 10 instead of frame 6, like most characters do. So it's not the best, but what you can do, as I said earlier, is a lot of times have your opponent shield that, and then go for a grab. Or you can even nair grab, and then get a forward air. So that's kind of what you do with his grabs. Really not way too much special things about them. It just kind of does what it does. Now, finally, I'm going to say in general, this character I feel like is a really strong character. Probably solo viable, except for I feel like there are a few matchups like Pichu, or even, Peach in some cases. I don't know, Peach maybe not. But Pichu, Pikachu, Squirtle in some cases. A lot of the smaller characters are really hard to hit. In a lot of cases, you just kind of have to keep throwing up projectiles and hope you hit your opponent. Go for a lot of lucky hits, and that can be kind of hard to deal with. Against bigger characters or slower characters, though, I mean, Richter and Simon just completely demolish those characters, and I think that's probably going to be his best matchups. And overall, in general, I'm going to say, as Richter and Simon, you probably will not need a secondary if you're really great at them. But in most cases, it would be really nice to have one, because especially, let's say my opponent's playing someone like Jigglypuff, and I keep getting edge guarded in my first game, and I know that they're great at edgeguarding, I probably want to have somebody else that I can play so that if they happen to edgeguard a lot again, I'm not just going to keep dying again and again and again, because that can be really frustrating. Overall, a character that I feel like can be solo viable, but probably is going to benefit a lot from having a secondary that can cover his bad matchups, because in general, I mean, he can just straight up destroy certain characters, make them almost feel like they're unplayable. But other ones, it can be really, really annoying to play him. Again, if you want to talk about best moves, though, to use the most of the time, forward tilt's really good, side B's really good, forward air and back air are really good, down throw forward air is really good, and even neutral air to try to break through the zone into up B can be really good. Those are overall probably his main moves, and the things that I like most about this character. But anyways, there you guys go. That's all my opinions about this character, and kind of how you want to be using all his moves, and kind of how you want to prioritize all of his moves. Overall, again, a good character, and I think that he's probably going to be one of the best zoners in the game. Maybe Olimar might be a little bit more effective in some cases, and maybe Link, but we're going to really have to see with that. As always, guys, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below who you want me to talk about next, and I'll try to cover them as soon as I possibly can. As always, guys, though, thank you all for watching, and have a smashing day.